The FORME Studio. This is the Rolls Royce of smart fitness mirrors. It's taller and wider than the competition. Has the largest and best picture 4K touchscreen display. Has multiple high-def cameras to allow for a fantastic and nuanced one-on-one training experience. It has the largest and fastest internal computer and is the first smart mirror to come with upgradable options to become a bar studio or even a full-on smart strength studio similar to the Tonal. Now, I've spent 6 weeks testing out the FORME Studio so that I can give you the most accurate, most in-depth overview possible. This is Colin Jenkins with Connect the Watts, and welcome to my review of FORME. Let's start out with an overview of the mirror itself, which is by far the largest among smart fitness mirrors, sitting at 68 inches high, 26.3 inches wide, and having a depth of 2.25 inches. It is also pretty heavy as well, weighing around 102 pounds, and so will need to be mounted to the wall. Unlike most fitness mirrors, which are controlled by an accompanying app, the FORME Studio features a 43-inch ultra high-def 4K touchscreen that you can simply turn on with a tap. Now, while I like the ability for the mirror to be used as a touchscreen, and it does a pretty good job of not showing fingerprints too much, but the downside is that you will need to wipe it down with the included microfiber towel between sessions if you want to keep it looking nice and pristine. Another small downside to the touchscreen, and this is probably my own fault for placing the mirror so low, but because it is turned on with a simple touch, my 4-year-old daughter loves to turn it on as she walks by multiple times every day, which can be annoying because it does play a little sound when it turns on and takes a few minutes to go back to sleep. So I wish there was a way to turn on some sort of child lock, but again, a very small complaint, especially considering just how amazing this screen looks. As I mentioned, this is an ultra high def 4K touchscreen, and what makes it really unique is that when you take the classes, they're actually fully downloaded so that they can play uninterrupted in 4K, something that I have not seen done on any other connected fitness device. So the classes look great. The sound, since the speakers are on the back and bounce off the wall towards you, they aren't quite as impressive. You can control the volume and decide how loud you want the mix to be between the instructors and the music, which is definitely nice, but it doesn't get quite as loud as I would really like, which can make it harder to hear when there's a fan in the room or if your kid is nearby watching a show or playing with friends. It's not bad, but as good as everything else is here, it definitely seems like a weak point. And so if you are in a loud space, you may want to connect some earbuds, which pair and work great. You can also pair a heart rate monitor, either the nice strap monitor that is included with the FORME Studio, or really any others, to be able to see your heart rate on the screen, as well as get a calorie count at the end of the workout if you're into that sort of thing. Now, included with the FORME Studio are 2 stereoscopic 12 megapixel cameras, which are significantly better than, for example, Lululemon's mirror, which features only a single 5 megapixel camera. However, one thing that FORME does currently lack is any sort of integrated form correction or rep counting tech, which could be utilized by those cameras, which is a shame because of how good they are, but at least they are there to help make the FORME Studio future-proof in the sense that these features could absolutely be added over time. But the reason I think having these high-quality cameras is important, despite not having any AI tech, is because of FORME's one-on-one optional personal training service. To test this out, I took 4 personal training sessions with one of their coaches, Chris, and personally, I found these sessions to be well planned, well coached, and very valuable. Obviously, I can't speak to every coach on their platform, but Chris was extremely knowledgeable and was able to pick out some super small nuanced issues with my form, both on basic and fairly advanced movements, so very capable of communicating to me how to correct these issues. And I know from experience that he would not have been able to see and make the type of corrections he did if it weren't for those really nice cameras being put to use. And just to talk a bit more about that personal training option with FORME, I think for some people who don't want to travel to the gym or just want to have a super convenient way to be seen by a knowledgeable coach once per week, in addition to the other on-demand classes with FORME, I've never seen any other connected fitness device that can do that as well as this. And not only were they personal training sessions, but my coach Chris would also create a specific plan on FORME for me to follow along to, as well as written instructions. So really a well put together full-on package. But Even if you don't opt for personal training, you still actually get personal guidance with FORME because when you order it, you get connected with a fitness consultant who talks with you about your background, your goals, and sets you up with a general weekly plan on FORME, which you can follow along to or not. It's all up to you. So talking about that content, let's dig into that. As I mentioned, the classes on FORME will need to be downloaded in order to be able to take them. And as long as you have a decent internet connection, this doesn't take very long to do. And your suggested workouts are always pre-downloaded for you. And you can download a huge library of these classes should you want to, as the computer within this touchscreen has 250 gigabytes of space. The library on FORME is pretty extensive, from strength workouts, conditioning, yoga, Pilates, barre, meditation, stretching, and even a partnership with Barre to take some of their classes, which includes both their strength, conditioning, and boot camp type classes, which take you on and off of the treadmill should you have one. The content, as I mentioned, looks great in 4K. The instructors are all very good, and there's a nice UI here that displays and indicates how many more sets of each movement you have left. Also, and I'm a big fan of this, they clearly show in the class description exactly which movements you'll be doing for the class. And for somebody like me who really needs to plan out my workouts, I love when that is available. And the workouts in general are sort of on the shorter end, usually around 10 to 30 minutes in length, although there are definitely plenty of longer classes to choose from. Now, since the classes are not streamed, there are no leaderboards. There's no tracking really. So if you're somebody who is really motivated by competition, you might find that aspect a bit lacking. Also, the workout tracking and stats in general is not currently really well implemented here, and there's no really good way within FORME to be able to track your progress or see how much you've done. And unfortunately, there's no way to even export your workouts to third-party trackers like Strava or anything. So this is one aspect of FORME that I would love to see improved. There's also a lack of fully built out programs here, which is sort of countered by having those suggested workouts picked by your coach or fitness consultant, but it would be nice to see this expanded upon as well. But overall, there's definitely enough content here to satisfy most. Now, one of the coolest things about the FORME Studio that unfortunately I was not able to try out is the ability to upgrade it, either adding on a removable bar setup or what I'm most excited about, the FORME Lift, which essentially turns the fitness mirror into a smart strength studio similar to Tonal, with movable arms and auto-adjusting weights, which can provide as much as 150 pounds of digital resistance. And here's why that's such a big deal for me, because I think a lot of people are going to be happy just getting the FORME Studio, but over time, they may want the ability to lift more weight. And so having the ability to keep what you love about that fitness mirror, but also add on the lift, makes this one of the most versatile machines I've ever seen. And then add on the ability to have personal training, and you really have an at-home fitness studio that is incredibly impressive and yet takes up almost no room and just looks like this incredible wall mirror when not in use. Now, in the beginning of the review, I called the FORME Studio the Rolls-Royce of smart mirrors, and that also comes with a price. The FORME Studio costs $2,495, which is about $1,000 more than the competition. And if you want to add on that lift attachment, well, that hasn't been released and won't be released until later this year, so I don't currently know exactly how much that's going to cost, but likely it's going to be an additional $2,000 or so. And the monthly membership is $49 per month. And if you want to upgrade your plan to a weekly personal training session, it's $199 for the first month and likely more after that. So this is absolutely a very pricey unit. And I think that's kind of the point. I mean, this is a luxury mirror. There is nothing nicer than this. And so it's really meant for somebody who has the money and the desire to have the latest and greatest. And in that, the FORME makes complete sense. And if I were to rate it on a must buy, buy, try, wait for a sale, or never touch rating, I would say the FORME Studio is absolutely a buy, but for somebody who understands exactly what it is, has a good income, and wants to buy something that both looks fantastic in their home and is able to support their health and fitness goals. You can learn more about the FORME Studio in a link via the video description below. Again, this is Colin with Connect the Watts. Appreciate you being here as always, and I'll see you next time.